What's going on, guys? My name is Jevon. I am a mixing engineer and a producer. I work in a few different DAWs. FL is one of them. And due to FL Studio's recent update 20.9, I have created a template to really take advantage of some of the overhauled features that they added for vocal production or vocal recording. I want to make this template available to you guys, but it is a little bit of a different recording process for people who are used to recording vocals in FL. So I want to do a little bit of a demonstration and explanation of how this works. I do work in a professional recording studio, and I can tell you firsthand that this workflow is as similar as I could get it within FL to how a recording workflow would be in a program like Pro Tools, Logic, Samplitude, the like. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this camera off now and get into explaining how this works. So basically here, as you can see, FL added these really cool options to be able to dedicate certain tracks on the left to certain inserts. These inserts correspond to these over here. And I'm going to go through routing and how all this stuff works real quick. So before I explain why these are super important and show you what's going on here, I'm going to explain a couple of short things. On these, like my actual I want to basically explain the routing. So the routing of this is the master. This is where all the sound's coming out. Pre-master runs into the master. Beat runs into the pre-master. Vocal master bus runs into the pre-master as well. The vocal master bus has all of this stuff that's going on over here. All these vocals are running into the vocal master bus. This is the tracking. This is specifically only for putting vocals in to the mic, like into the project. This is not running into the pre-master or the vocal master bus directly. It is running through and can be changed by one of these buses that can have different effects or vocal chains on it. For instance, this is the main vocal chain one, so this is running through here right now. If I were to turn this off, then you couldn't even barely hear me. So if you aren't familiar with recording this way, which I'm sure you are if you're used to recording in FL Studio, because this is just kind of how you're supposed to do it, your vocals will come in completely dry. I record low and mix up, and then after that, you can run it to an insert, like a track, and have your vocal chain in there. Just to let you know, my vocal chain is not going to be coming with this template. This is just a template and the workflow and how to use it, and that's why I'm explaining. If you guys are in, and I really just did this more because I'm not sure if everybody would have the plugins that I have. I use Waves and FabFilter and some random stuff too. So if you guys are interested in my vocal chain, I might make another video about how to put them together. I might make like a fruity stock one, or I might just put mine out there for you guys. You guys can comment that down below. To explain what's going on here, tracking goes into main. And this is basically the vocal chain. This does not run into the vocal master bus. It goes to a send. The reason I make these sends is that you can have your regular chain, vocal chain go on across here, and then you can send this information. This signal is going to the send, where in turn you can add some more effects, or you can change it in post. It's another layer of gain staging, or it's like just another step for you to be able to really articulate the changes you want to make throughout the project. And this makes a lot more sense once we get over here. I have 3 extra layers set up that you can put your vocal chains on. Those have corresponding sends. They're going to have EQs on them with set up just in case you want to make any filters or anything like that for your different layers, which I recommend you do. For the ad lib, same thing, regular vocal chain, then sends it to here. And then I have a little ad lib, phony, put it in the background filter thing. You can change that out and add whatever you want to put it back there. I would add more stuff than this usually, and I would do a couple different things. That's just a starter type of deal. And again, these ad libs has like regular vocal chain, which is not normally usual for, ad libs. But I can do this because I can send it then in turn into this send that I can change it further from that. So I really focus on, and I hope if you guys use this template, I really focus on this just being my regular vocal chain, just being for dynamics, because I have effects built in on the outside. So this is for a certain type of workflow. This is for a mono signal coming in, and to keep your dynamics all super mono. And then we can do stuff like creative stuff like reverb, compression, or parallel compression, delay, and doubler all in a minute. I'll explain how those work. Over here, I have the whole Suicide Boys things, basically just the panning. Left 1 and right 1, if it has 1 next to it, it'll be 100% pan. So left 1 is 100% pan to the left, right is 100% pan to the right. After that, 2 is 66% to the left, and 3 is 60 or 33% to the left, and that's, you know, for the right side too. It corresponds. These three all go into the left side sends, and that runs into the left-right master send. That's the same for over here. These three run into this right send, which goes to this master send, which then runs into the vocal master bus. Now, I have this little extras thing set up over here for you. This is just for, you know, your tags, your sound effects, stupid stuff that it doesn't really matter. Didn't put a lot of thought on that. It's just there for you. Obviously, these will still work too. They'll by default be routed to the vocal master bus though, so just watch out for that. This one goes straight to the pre-master. Let's explain the effects buses here. So each of these black sends over here, including this one right here, these all run, like I said before, I don't put any effects, creative effects. My signal is completely mono on my regular chain. So this is going to the vocal master completely mono in the middle and totally flat. The reason I do that is because we can do all of our effects in parallel. If you're not familiar with parallel processing, basically that just means that this main vocal is going to be completely dry, sent to the master, and then my effect, I'm going to send this voice out to the effect. I'm going to run it through, let's say, reverb 100% wet, and then I'm going to send that 100% wet signal along with the 100% dry signal over here straight into the vocal master bus in this case. And we can blend those together using volume. The way that we do this is it's already routed for you. You'll notice over here that down here there's going to be this little, you know, side chain send signal. And as I turn it up, I can decide how much volume is going into it. This way you never have to touch the master faders, and you can have, each one of these is going to have a difference. So on this one you could have this much, this one you could have, you know, all the way up here past 100% if you wanted. I don't know what you're going to do. So yeah, it's just a really effective way of being able to use the same effects over and over again on different stuff and be able to layer them together without having to like change the actual clip volumes or anything like that. You can just do it down here with this simple function. And these are automatable too and stuff. So it's just a really good way of doing it. After each of these effects, I have it set up for reverb, parallel compression. Let me just do a little demo. So I have set up for reverb, parallel compression, delay, and doubler. So that's like, these are just, you know, basic guidelines for what you could use as your effect sends. You could put anything that you really want on them. Obviously, the reverbs, the compressions, the delays, the doublers, not going to come actually on there because I don't know what kind of plugins you guys want to use, but you guys can just plug in whatever you guys want to use. So what it will come with after is a EQ right after wherever your effect is going to be. So for this vintage verb, I have an EQ after it. Don't really use it that much, but on something like delay, I would definitely use an EQ. If I wanted to have some delay in here, I could have the delay on. Let's say I go back here, turn the delay on, and then I can cut out some of this. Maybe I just want the high end. 1,000 hertz plus or something I would like to do a lot. I don't know, it really doesn't matter. It's really up to your creativity, what you guys feeling like doing. Let's let that delay go away. I absolutely hate delay on regular vocals, just listen to. So yeah, this is basically set up for you to be able to work really fast, grind out stuff, and be able to basically just drag and drop. Well, what do I mean by drag and drop? I'm going to show you guys what the workflow generally would look like and what I recommend for you to work like while you're inside of here. So right here we have tracking. And obviously our tracking is armed. I have input 1, blah, blah, blah. You know how to record. Okay, so I have a beat that I made up here, and I have my BPM set and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and run my recording right here. Currently we are tracking, and what's happening is in the mixer, this is tracking to this, while it's in here, is coming through here in mixer slot 4, and then it's being sent through the main vocals to have all the effects and whatnot, and I can just plug and play whenever I want to. But just to give you a little example of what's going on here, if I double click this and show you where it's at, I recommend holding command, dragging to select so that you don't move it around on accident, and then we can actually, let me turn down the music a little bit here, a little bit more. Here we go. And what we can do is we can, oops, my bad. We can grab this and move it down, and you'll notice that as I move this clip, it is automatically going to the corresponding mixer track. Now, why that's important is because when we have, you know, right now it's just my regular dynamics and stuff, but let's say if I set up this EQ to be like a phone filter or something, and this is on layer 1 send, go ahead and run my recording right here. Currently we are tracking. And what's happening is in the mixer, super fast, I can just send it down just to do that. And I'm doing this by, again, command, drag, clicking, and then just shifting up or down. And then I don't have to worry about the main vocals to have all the effects and whatnot. That way I don't have to worry about its moving around or having to, like, you know, put it back where it actually belongs. It's not gonna slide left or right. It's just moving up and down through the tracks. I turned that off for a second. A couple things I wanna highlight here. There are some really cool things. I'm gonna do a little bit of a demonstration here, shitty demonstration, no auto-tune or anything like that, just for the fact of doing this. So it's like, all right. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. Okay, I wasn't recording. That's awesome. Let's do that again real quick. Hey. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we have this vocal recorded. Let's say that we want this to be down here on the main. We just, like I said, command click, shift down. Now it's on the main. Okay, again, I want to record some more, but this time I want it to be a layered track. But I want to hear that effect that I had before, that fruity parametric EQ, like that phone filter in the background while I'm layering it. Well, what we can do is we can go to our tracking right here. You're not gonna be able to hear me for a second. We can detach this and then add it to layer 1. And now we can actually hear what the effect sounds like while we're recording. Again, this recording is actually completely dry. Depending on where we move it is what we actually hear. So let me go ahead and run this. Hey. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. All right, shitty recording, right? Let me go back and move this back so you can actually hear me. All right. And what's going to happen now is this regular tracking just goes through the main. Oops, that's another good example. If you record over the same thing, it's just going to make a second thing for it. Won't hurt anything. You can delete it or you can keep 2 just so you can alternate them, whatever you need to do, not a big deal. We can move this then down into layer 1 and you'll notice, hey, she knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. So now we were able to monitor the effect that we were actually having, and it doesn't have to be there because it's not printed like that. So if I move it to layer 2, it won't have that effect. Hey. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. Hey. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. So this is really effective for being working with like different layers, whether you're doing your ad-libs tracks, you're doing your harmonies or anything like that. You can quickly set up once you get your vocal chains together and get them plugged into this template, and then you set up your different layers if you know that you like to EQ out the lows on this type of layer or add a little bit of extra reverb or add some like stereo imaging on your layers over here. You can do all of these in the sends in this little extra creative spot apart from your audio chain that you're gonna have. You have all this room to work with. You can place them, have this saved ready for you, and then all you have to do when you're making your songs and you're tracking is track your vocal and move it down into the different spaces. I can guarantee you that this is pretty much how every professional studio actually records. At the studio that I work at, this is how we record in Samplitude. I've seen people do this in Pro Tools. I've seen people do it in Logic. This is just kind of the standard way to do it, is to have the dedicated tracking track. And then this is really good too for if you're working later and you end up not really liking your mix. All of these are completely dry. They have absolutely no effects on them whatsoever because if you remember, if you remember from earlier, this has absolutely nothing on there other than a free dB meter, and that's just for me to be able to see my levels and for you guys to do it too. So this is really effective for being able to get song ideas out quickly, effectively, and professionally, and then be able to go back at any point, and whether you want to kick out the stems and just combine them all together and send it to somebody to mix, or if you want to edit it within here, it's super easy steps. You could gain stage using these different sends. You can gain stage using the master bus. I also have a side chain set up to the beat. That way, if you use a F6 or a fab filter, and I'm not going to give a tutorial on how to do it right now, but you can cut out a little bit of the frequencies that your vocals sit in. It's all set up and routed for you. All of these are basically, and if I want to like experiment with things like this main vocal, if I want it to have some reverb, all I have to do, like I said before, is just turn up this knob. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof. Ay. She knows that I'ma make it to the roof and do it. So yeah, this is a pretty like crude example of how to do this, but I hope that you can kind of get across how effective this can be for actually, getting songs done. Realistically, you should be able to record a song and just drop things where you want them, and once you get your chains together, you can put out the standard of songs. Once you get your sound figured out, you might be able to push out fucking 10 songs a day. Is with how easy this is set up. I'm going to make this template available through my Discord I have set up. So here's the thing: you guys can go on here and look at all this and pause the screens and analyze and just recreate this for yourselves. That's totally fine. I really don't care. I'll tell you the truth. This took me 3.5 hours to set up, and the way I did it is pretty like soundproof. Everything is the way I want it to be. I really appreciate this. The way that with the effects being in parallel and having all these different slots, the numbers, the workflow, if you need to change things or whatever, whether you're moving them like this or you're moving them through tracks like that, it's set up in a way that's going to be really streamlined for you. So I recommend just dropping $10 is all I'm going to ask for this, just for my time. And I'm going to offer that through the Discord. So what I'm going to have is down in the description below, it's going to be a list of my socials. I implore you to follow my Instagram as well, because I post a lot of the different packs and different like tips and chains and whatever I'm doing with music wise. But in the Discord, what you can do is you can join the Discord there, and there's going to be the channel that you're going to be brought into. It's going to have instructions on how you can purchase this template for $10 from me. Once payment has been authorized through, the download will be available for you in another channel, and you can just after that, if you don't know how to do templates, I'll make a video for it just in case, but you should be able just to go from templates and just drop it, drag and drop it like that, or just click on it like that, and I'll show you where you can put it to do so. It's pretty simple, and you can also set this as your default template and all that stuff. I can make that in a separate video. I wanted to make this just a quick one to let you guys know what was going on. And yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. If there's any other small things I wanted to go over real quick, other than yeah, no, it's pretty simple. So again, all these plugins are not going to be on there already just because you have your own plugins. You can just drag and drop your vocal chains that I know that you got from whatever YouTuber, whatever homie you have into here, and then just use the sends as your way of knowing what each of them represent and blah, blah, blah. It'll be perfect. It's always going to work. And yeah, dude, I think that this is going to be really good for a lot of you home recorders, and I think that it will make a very, very easy way of being able to pump out quality songs that are able to get worked on in the moment and again later. So again, check out my Discord, follow my socials below, subscribe to this channel if you haven't before. I post beats almost every single day. Might make some more videos like this, and if you guys have any questions about my processing chain or anything else like that, you guys can go ahead and ask them. Discord's down below, and thanks for watching.